Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, the last Zerg player in the tournament. We'll see if he can keep his run alive here. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss also from South Korea. It is Classic. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we enter our semifinals, our best of 3. I saw someone asking in the chat about the Gamba. Yes, predictions, we do host them for every series. As a reminder, these are predictions for the series, not just for the game. So this is for the entirety of those series. Let's go. Oh. Hi, I'm learning SE2 after the mini set for Hearthstone and the StarCraft 2 cards. Do you have a tip on which race to main? I can't decide between Protoss and Zerg. I guess it's a hard question to answer here. I guess my best advice would just be to I mean, a lot of players, their introduction to StarCraft is to play through the campaign, and then they'd get a better idea for what kind of races and what units they enjoy working with. I would suggest either that, or dipping into the co-op mode, or dipping into some customs and testing out the races yourself, and yeah, seeing what kind of vibes with you the most. Certain playstyles, I mean, certain races, they have certain playstyles, they play in a certain way, and it comes down to like personal preference, I feel. What you enjoy the most. But yeah, welcome. I haven't played the Hearthstone, the new Hearthstone mode yet though. I want to try it. I want to, again, once I have time. Would love to test it out. The SE2 and Hearthstone. Yeah. One day. Have some time. But now though, we're getting into our openers. Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Dark. Likewise, Classic going for the Gate expanded Cybercore into Stargate. Everything so far looking as it should. Everything so far looking normal, looking standard. But yeah, so maybe coming into like 2026, we can play some Zero Space. I think like that's when it's meant to launch, right? Like next year, maybe. We'll be able to jump into some of the newer RTSs. It's all good. No rush. Meanwhile, Dark taking his third. Adept has arrived to threaten a dive, to check the gases, check saturation, make sure there's no early crazy tech. Just keeping tabs here on Dark. Likewise, going to be an Oracle opener out of Classic. We do have variations. We could open up Phoenix, could open up Void Ray, but Oracles are the go-to. They are the stock standard. Again, the Oracle just has so much utility here in this matchup to scout, to harass, to keep the third base safe, to defend against Ling Rumbais, to support the army. Are very versatile, and then moving out. Meanwhile, Adept does commit to Shade. Oh my god. 2 drones, not bad. 2 workers going down. Adept does fall. With that, Dark does go for a counterattack to try to threaten the third. And speaking of Classic, he will expand. He will attempt to. The Lings are in position. Again, this is the downside of losing your Adept, but the Oracle is ready, and the third base is thrown down. As we said, let's just say big shout out to Decade in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy the casting. And again, you do gain emotes in the chat, and we also hand out replay packs to our subscribers as well. You can join our Discord, and you can gain our replays through our subscriber channel if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you for the support. Always appreciate it. As a double Oracle does hit the main. Oh, dips in. Queens are in position, and the Oracles, they get 1 drone so far. Just the 1. Dark is going lair first. Lair before tech, no Roach Warren. Ooh, and we're going for a German taxi. Let's go. Overlord speed is on the way, and you do need the lair to morph in Dropper Lords. So we're extending up here from Mass Ling Queen. Dark is being hyper aggressive. I mean, getting into our map here, Whispers of Gold is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. Very small, very short rush distance by ground, and Dark is going to be committing. And it's on Classic to figure out what's going on. Oracles, they do threaten the third. Queens are in position. The lair is almost done. It's going to be, what, 2, 3 drone kills? 4. Not bad, but 1 Oracle does fall. And here come the Drop Lords. Here comes the all-in. Drop Lords, they are morphing in. The Queen's going to be loading up, going to be sending everything across the map. Darky's kind of works at 41. That is 2 base saturation. That is under 2 base saturation. So a 2 base all-in here from Dark. And he commits. Back at home, Classic, he recognized something is wrong. He did confirm the lack of saturation. Shield batteries are on the way. He's getting ready. He's getting ready for the defense. Classic needs more time. Oh! Does want to be surrounded. Classic down to 2 Oracles. As he did lose 1. And again, here comes Dark. Hoping to surround the army. Shield batteries are finishing up. Actually going straight for the natural instead. Just going for the natural. We'll zone away the Oracles. Can spread creep. Nice force field. Classic so far he's holding. He is holding on. Shield battery supports those Oracles. 1 Queen goes down. Lings they surround, but the shield battery keeps everything alive. Ooh, not the Oracles though. Oracles, they do fall. Boys are being pulled. Stalkers are going down. And Dark, he has broken the third. As there's 3 Stalkers left. Down to 2. Down to 1. 1 Stalker remaining with reinforcements. The 3rd base should fall. And the rest of the army's just pinned here to the natural. He's just pinned down. And Dark, he will get a free expansion. And behind this Dark, he's taking. Hydrogen is on the way. Classic, he tries to break out. Oh, he's crazy. Oh my god. Does break out, takes down the Queen. But he cannot save the 3rd. It's not going to happen. Yeah, the 3rd base does fall. And now Dark drones. He got what he wanted. 14 probes and the expansion. He reset the Oracle count, which means Oracles are not available to counterattack. And Dark is droning. Dark, he can now drone up his 3rd. He can now saturate. And Classic is stuck at home. Stuck at home here. But he needs to push. Blink is done. He has +1. Building up his first replacement Oracle. It's on the way. Dark even spreading creep from across the map. Oh no. No active tumors though, thankfully. There's a revelation. Behind this, Dark droning, saturating, throwing down more gases, getting to +1 range, Hydra upgrades as well. And the problem right now here, because there are so many Lings, is that Classic can't move out. If he does, he will lose the 3rd. Like, if the Stalkers move out across the map, then Dark is going to counterattack and force a cancel. And I mean, that'd be game. So Classic is just stuck at home. Trying to fortify himself, trying to build back up. Temple Archives on the way, working towards Storm. And Dark, he's just chilling. He's just chilling, just droning up. And can freely macro from here. The Oracle has a lot of work to do. Takes some hull damage. As we said, a big shout to ET Bemo Bacon in the chat. Oh my god. The bacon. Get that? ¿Cómo estás? You're making me hungry. I haven't had breakfast yet. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing or for subscribing with Twitch Prime for the first time. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you enjoy the casting. I hope you enjoy the StarCraft. I hope you enjoy it. Again, we have plenty of content on the channel, and I hope you enjoy your emotes. You can join our Discord if you wish. Hold on, I got you. Exclamation mark. Socials in the chat if you want to join our Discord server. You get some replays if you wish. Otherwise, Dark, he gets up to 3 base saturation. 67 workers here. He's got his 4th, but he is not fully saturating the 4th base. He's building up Ling Hydra, knocks down the rocks, and he's going for the 3rd. Meanwhile, Storm is not done. Oh no. Storm is not done yet. High Templar are ready. They can feed back. But what can they feed back? Yo, the Overseer, let's go. High Templar goes down. Lings, they flood into the mineral line. Now without Storm, Classic, he can't really make this defense. The cannons are putting in a lot of work, but they're being broken. Yeah, the cannons are going down one after the other. Dark, he overwhelms the army. Storm is finishing up in 2 seconds, but it's too late. There's the first Storm. There's 3 Storms left. There's the second. 1 Storm remains, but he gets the expansion. He knocks down the Nexus. 22 more SC, 22 more probes even. And even though Classic, he's barely holding on here, like, what's he holding on to? What is left? Nothing. Not like this. As we're down to a handful of Stalkers. Classic refusing to tap out. Huffing a bit of that copium patty, just a little bit. As he will lose the third base for a second time, pulling back to the natural. Does hold on to his 2 bases. And from here, Dark can just back off. He can just back off. He's droning. We have Bailey speed on the way, plus on melee. He does reinforce. Once again, trading with the army, containing Classic on 2 bases. And from here, Dark can take a 5th expansion, take up into Hive, into a Lurker Den, into Infestation Pit, into Hydra Lurker Viper if he so chose to. Instead, Dark, he just remaxes and just keeps rotating. Oh, he's coming in for the surround. This time there's no escape. Oh no. There's no way out of this. The Storms takes down some of the Lings, but the Hydras, they collapse in a massive concave. And the army's trapped. He can try to recall, but at this point it's too late. GG gets called, and Dark, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. We'll take game 1. We'll take a lead in the series. And the pressure is now on Classic. Again, winding it back here as a reminder, Dark, he went for a 2-base all-in. He cut workers at 41. Well, technically, he made more drones, but if you remember, he lost like 4 or so workers to the Oracle Harass. So he droned up to around like 44, 45 workers. But he did commit to an all-in here with Overlord Speed, with the Lair, into a quote-unquote German taxi. If you're a little bit newer to the scene, the reason why it's called that is because Lambo is a German Zerg player. He did popularize the build many years ago, like back in like 2020, 2021, like that kind of early COVID era of StarCraft, and going for the Drop Lord all-in this matchup in ZvP. And Dark does embrace it, does catch Classic off guard, and GG. GG will play, does take a lead. And we'll see if Classic can force the ace match or if it all ends here and now in game 2. Pressure is on as we load into ley lines. Now, coming into ZvP's, Dark, he is hyper aggressive. We saw a lot of late game out of Dark against Terran, true, right? Like, we saw a lot of back and forth, like 30-minute games between Dark and Bunny. Against Protoss, though, Dark is more aggressive. He's more aggressive, he's more animalistic. he's an animal, pap, he's an animal. And more often than not, we see all-ins. Like, not necessarily like this all-in every game, but we expected like a German taxi at least at one point in the series. You know, I'm expecting like a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. I'm expecting like 3-base Ling Hydra all-in off of 6/6 workers. Roach Ravager as well. Like, Dark is just hyper aggressive here in this matchup, and we expect more aggression coming into game 2. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing himself, leading the series 1-0. 1 game away from making it to the grand finals. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss player. The Red Protoss, down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Classic. The bet was for the series of 1 match. The series, as always. Always for the series, Pat. Perhaps it doesn't feel very comfortable in ZvP. Sure, yeah. We could probably say that. I mean, it is known. Dark, he is... Ideally, he would want to end the game early if at all possible. Like, we have seen Dark in late game ZvP, and he's not bad at it by any means, but it's not something that he prefers. I think most people are in agreement, and Dark as well, where late game ZvP is more difficult. Going up against a Skytoss army is arguably favored for the Protoss, so Dark, he just avoids it. Just avoids it entirely. And we'll see if Classic can get there. Can he survive the aggression of Dark? As for now, calming things down. We are calming down. So far, standard openers here from our players. We do expect another Stargate into the Oracle. Really, our big signs and our big tech choices here are going to be keeping an eye on the lair timing. The lair timing of Dark, the gases as well, the saturation, whether or not he even saturates his natural, which we did not see last game. So our eyes are going to be on Dark here. And Classic's eyes are going to be on Dark as well. Again, it's on the Protoss to scout to confirm. To figure out what Dark is up to. There's our Stargate once again. Last game, we had a triple Oracle opener out of Classic. We'll see if he does deviate. Again, Void Ray openers are viable. They have a very different kind of flair to them, though. A Void Ray opener is designed to hide the tech, is designed to hunt down Overlords, and to keep Dark in the dark as to what the Protoss is doing. So a very different kind of follow-up if we did open Void Ray. For now, the probe has arrived. Oh, we'll delay the expansion, at least attempts to. But the third base is on the way. And a back at home classic Stargate is done. And what do you have for us? Oracle once again. So just like the previous game, standard opener. Going for Oracles into a third, into a standard setup. Dark, meanwhile, still droning, still saturating, still building up. Currently, it's on Dark to keep up with this Adept. Last game, the Adept did get 2 drone kills. True. Did get 2 workers. Second Adept has arrived. 2 Adepts taking one-shot drones. Doesn't commit yet. Does keep tabs on the third. Does keep tabs on the expansion. Oracle's moving out as well. Gets spotted by the Lings. Wings are getting in position. Adepts take him into the shade. Ooh, and drones are going down. 2, 3 workers already. Very nice damage. Almost getting a 4th. Oracle will clean up. Gets 4. Gets up to 5 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, solid damage here from Classic. Dark, he's across the map, and he's more concerned with denying the third. We'll delay. We'll delay the expansion. So far, this is a better start for Classic. He escapes with the Oracle. Does keep it alive. Classic will expand. It's going to be slightly delayed here because of these Lings. Likewise, they get us around. Ooh. Force back. There's our third base. And Classic should hold. Should be able to hold on. Interesting setup here. Dark is going for an Evo Chamber. This tells us that this is most likely going to be plus on melee. Oh, as Lings, they get into the bases. They slip into the main, they get a full scouts. They confirm the Twilight Council. That is a very early Twilight Council out of Classic. And this could be one of 2 things. Either early Glaives or early Blink. So 2 options here for Classic. We'll see what he goes for. But quickly back at home, yep, it is going to be plus on melee, as we did mention. Early Evo Chamber means no Roach Warren, means plus on melee into Ling Hydra. So no Roaches. No Roaches out of Dark. Ling Hydra instead. Ooh, Bailey Nest on the way. You have my attention. Going for the nest. Adepts a threat in the shade. So far, Classic just keeping Dark busy. We have the take of choice, going for Blink. Now, this Bailey Nest looks like it's just a safety precaution. If this was Glaives, then Bailings would be required to defend. So Dark playing it safe. Lair is on the way. And Classic, he will establish his third base. So we have a back and forth. Whew. We have more of a back and forth. We're building up our bases, getting to our economies. Classic being active. And we're getting into the mid game. Now from here, there's still a lot of aggressive potential out of Dark. I mentioned before that it is not uncommon to see Dark go up to 3 base saturation, drone up to 66, and then cut workers and commit into Ling Hydra on Lair Tech. That is something that we do see quite often out of Dark, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. He's double expanding. We'll have plenty of Larva. Classic taking up towards Storm, not Colossus. So Storm is on the way. There's that Hydra Den from Dark, as I did mention. It is Ling Hydra. And Dark even triple expands. Taking 3 bases at once. So far maintaining himself. And he's droning. Okay, so he's not cutting workers at 3 base saturation. He is droning up his 4th. Droning up his 4th base. Building up his army. With his 4th base being saturated, we assume that Dark is going to take towards Hive and is going to take towards Lurkers. Making that assumption. We'll see. So Dark is moving out with his Lings. Looking for a surround. And he will force the activation of the Pulsar Beam. He's going for the expansion. Can he force a cancel? And with plus on melee, he can. Oh my god. Cancels the fourth, delays the economy, pulls away. Behind this, he's droning up. And there are those gases. Again, with these gases, we can now afford the Infestation Pit, the Hive. Speaking of, there it is. Infestation Pit, Lurker 10, in towards Hive Tech, in towards Lurkers. Okay. So a longer game setup here by Dark is slowing down Classic. And Classic is going to have a big power spike available to him. I know that we've been focusing a lot on Dark and what he's been up to. Classic now finishes Storm. And that's a lot of High Templar, each with at least one Storm. Oh boy, so that's going to be 6 Storms here for Classic. And Lurkers are good, but Lurkers aren't ready. Lurkers are not ready here. It's purely Ling Hydra. And this army is vulnerable to Storms. Classic's moving in. Prism has arrived to reinforce. And can Classic break Dark before Lurkers? Can he break him? Pushing in. Dark, he has to respect the army. Pulls away. Setting up for a surround. Storm zones. And Dark trying to come in from behind. Baits out the stasis. Storms, they look down the Queens. Efficient trades here from Classic. And he's just picking Dark apart. Yeah, a couple of Hydras are trickling in, but there's still plenty of Storms. Yeah, this Storm timing is brutal. Dark a little bit too greedy here. The base will fall. And Classic, he can just keep pushing. He can keep pushing. He has, what, 2, almost 3 Storms left. Now, pulls away. Whew. Does back up. I do think he can rotate either towards the top or towards the south and go for another expansion. He still has plenty of... Yeah, he's going for it. Is going. He pulls away for a moment. Still pushing in. Hive has just begun. Still no Lurkers. No Lurkers yet. Dark, he has a concave. Stasis goes off. Massive Storm. Storms, they shut down the Hydras. Nice control here, saving the High Templar. And Classic, he's doing it. He's breaking through. He broke the base earlier, and he's doing it again. There's nothing left here. Just a handful of Hydras, handful of Lings. Boys are being pulled. And there's still like 3 Storms left. There's so many Storms. GG gets called, and Classic will tie up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Dark, he was being greedy. He drone up past 74. He drone up towards 80 workers, triple expanded, and he was rushing into Hive Tech, into Lurker Tech. As we mentioned, because he was cutting so many corners, because he was being so greedy, he was vulnerable to that Storm timing. He was vulnerable. He was not ready for it. And Classic did strike then and there as soon as Storm was ready with 6 High Templar. He had so many Storms available, and Dark could not touch him. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. And we'll see how this story ends. Whew. Oh boy. See how this story ends. Again, Dark just being a little bit too greedy there, as opposed to cutting workers a little bit earlier, like around 70, to focus on building up a Ling Hydra army. Again, he was just focusing on teching, focusing on droning, focusing on expanding. He was not expecting an army. And this is where I have to fault Dark when it comes to scouting and checking for a push. That is something that he was not aware of and not ready for. See, Dark, he's ready. He's used to like his opponents responding to him. You have to respond to the Protoss back. Let's go. We're getting into the ace match. And game 3 is going to be on Frostline. Interesting. Okay. Frostline, a map that we do often veto, but has been left through here into this best of 3. Frostline's going to be an interesting one. Frostline is a large map. True, it is a very large map, larger than Leylines, larger than Whispers of Gold, the largest map we've seen so far in the series, and likewise has a very exposed 3rd and 4th base. We'll get into it. We'll get into it once we load in. We can point out the bases. As you can hear the beeps, we're loading into the ace match. Let's go. Whew. Workers crazy at this point of the game. Oh, I did miss that. I assumed he had joined up to like 80, maybe 86. If he had joined up to 90, that's crazy. Oh no. Void Ray also helps against early attacks. Not really. I mean, depends what you're saying. Like, if you're talking about Ling Floods or Ling Aggression, then Oracles are superior. Especially because of the energy overcharge. So Oracles, they are better defensively. Void Rays, they're like a little bit more niche. They'd be useful like against like a Roach Roll-In, for example, right? But here we go. We're getting into our setup. We're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg being forced into a tied series, into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, tying up the series, making a series out of this as well. Let's go. Can he go all the way? It is Classic. Here we go. And welcome one and all to Frostline. Again, it is a larger map, longer rush distance by ground. That is all true. But the bases are also a lot more indefendable here. Unlike some of these other maps, there's no ramp coming into the natural. The natural base is very wide. The natural base is very wide open. There's also multiple angles of attack here towards that natural. You can also wedge yourself between the bases. And speaking of, the third and the fourth, likewise very isolated from each other, very spread out. You do spread yourselves thin trying to defend these locations, and likewise the ramps here are very wide as well. Very wide ramps, very easy to attack, very easy to push in, and likewise very difficult to defend. So because that, we've seen a lot of aggression succeed on Frostline. We actually rarely get to see late game on this map, just because it's so difficult to keep up with defending your third, your fourth, let alone your fifth base as well. It can be very difficult. So we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. Here we go. So keep an eye on Dark and Classic. In general, 3-base play is favored here on Frostline, but we'll see. So far, we've seen some of the extremes of Dark. At Game 1, we saw an all-in, of course. Game 2-base all-in. Game 2, we saw Dark being hyper greedy on ley lines, which was crazy, by the way. And we shouldn't be seeing that here. Like, we should not be seeing Dark, you know, triple expand and drone up past 80 and tech up. Like, that's not typically how we play things out on Frostline. So we'll keep an eye on Dark. Likewise on Classic as well. But now we have our Stargate opener. Stargate here towards the natural. Once again, we should be seeing an Oracle opener as well. And Classic, he will get eyes on the third. Does confirm. Stargate is done. Oracle's on the way. Again, is the go-to. It's just a really safe way to play. Gives you scouting, protects the third base, shuts down Lings, supports your army. And especially with the latest change to the energy overcharge, does give even more utility to those Oracles. The Stalker opener is a little bit suspect. Typically, we do open up Adept into a second Adept to harass across the map, as we saw previously. This game, Adept into Stalker will deny scouting. We'll keep Dark away from the main. And I'm sure Classic is trying to force Dark to assume it is going to be a different kind of opener. A Twilight Council, I mean. Lings they poke in. Going for the Stalker. They surround the Adept, not bad. Adept does go down. Gets one, Oracle gets across the map, Queen drone position. And the Oracle only gets one drone kill, takes a lot of hull damage. Darky defends, he attacks. Darky comes out better here, out of the initial trade. So far, so good. As Oracles are amassing. Third base is building up. And this time, Classic goes for a slightly later Twilight Council compared to last game. It's going to be Twilight Council. We should be seeing a Forge. We'll keep an eye on Classic. There is no Forge, so this could be Fast Blink or Fast Glaives. Last game, we saw Fast Blink out of Classic to be a little bit more assertive on the map. Does he commit into Glaives this time, though? We'll see. Getting up to 6 gateways. Here's the gateway explosion. Blink is going to be on the way, and we'll see if he throws down even more gates. Like, 6 gates is already a hefty amount to this early on, and he might skip his gases. He might go for a 3-base all-in. I'm referring to an 8 gate. He's almost there. oracles, they get the revelation off. They poke in. Up! Ooh, overextension. One oracle goes down. Massive pickoff. That is brutal. That should not have happened. Meanwhile, Dark going to be rushing into an Eva Chamber +1 range into a Hydras. Okay. Much faster Hydra production here from Dark. Classic somewhat saturating that third. Blink is almost done. Going for the Forge. Ah, okay, he's taking. Is now taking up. So Classic just being secure with those Stalkers. He defends his third base, and now he's taking up towards Storm. We're headed towards a longer game. Meanwhile, Dark, he's drawn up to 69. Nice. Getting a fourth. And this Hydra timing is going to be brutal here. Remember, he rushed into +1 range, he rushed into Hydras, and now Hydra range as well. Building up a little more Hydras early on. Not being as greedy as he was previously. Oh, he's going to get supply block though. That's 3 Overlords falling. Nice catch here from Classic. Shuts down the Overlords. Again, because of the early blink, Classic, he can be active like this. He's safe. Stalkers, they won't get surrounded. They can always blink away. And here comes Storm. Storm has begun. This time, Dark, he cuts workers at 71. Just over 3 base saturation. And he is taking up once again into the Lurker Den, into the Infestation Pits. So this is similar to the last game, except this time he has invested it more heavily here into his army early on. Into more lanes, into more Hydras. He gets eyes on the 4th. He wants it. He wants the 4th base. Massing up his Lings. Hydra's moving out as well. He's going to be committing. Storm is just now finishing up. Classic is out of position. He's here towards the 3rd base, not towards the 4th. And up! Ooh, Stasis goes off. Massive connection. 4th base should be denied. But Classic can respond. There's a cancel. There's a cancellation. He's got 4 High Templar. He's got at least 4 Storms. There's a 1st. There's a 2nd. We have the 3rd. And still another Storm left. Actually, another 2. Oh my god. Yeah, and Dark, he's going to be shut down here. Catches a couple of Stalkers, not bad. 4 Hydras moving in. Stalkers going down. Slow Warpins. Oh my god, they're so delayed. And Dark, he will barely outtrade this. Cleans up every single Archon. And all the High Templar. So Dark, he resets the army. He takes down the 4th base. And behind this, Dark, he's freely joining. He's freely on a 4 base economy. 77 workers. Hive is on the way. The economy is untouched. And Dark can just remax and rebuild. Just remax, rebuild. I mean, we spoke about this earlier about how difficult it is to defend both locations at once. I mean, we saw that here, where Classic was at his 3rd and it takes so long to rotate to respond to the 4th. Now we're doing it again. This time, Classic has a wall of stack defense. That's a lot of cannons. That's to buy time. It's a buy time for Classic to rotate. It's keeping up. I mean, this is a good answer to the problem that is Frostline. Just a wall of cannons. Classic is trying to hold on. We have more cannons on the way. More shield batteries. So we have a handful of Lurkers arriving. Just 2. Just 2 Lurkers. Slowly moving in. Distract the army. Meanwhile, when the reinforce does collapse on the base. And he only wants to cancel. He only wants the expansion. Storm on the Lings. Nexus is going to go down. Ooh, that's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Massive pickoff. High Templar gets picked up as well. And Classic is just being torn apart. He's being torn apart here. Just cannot expand. I mean, again, like the Cone Cave that you have to fight against, just because this area is so large. He cannot hold. Dark, he pulls away. He can build up his Lurker count. Still on 0 Lurkers, though. There we go. The Lunkers are coming. 11 Lurkers on the way. That's exactly what he needs to defend against a counterattack. Classic is being forced into an all-in. Not quite going for it, though. Re-expanding. He's backing off. Doesn't push out. Lurkers will finish. And Dark is secure. Dark, he is secure. Classic, he doesn't push. He's posturing in the center as he moves out. Dark is moving in. And he's going for another base. Going for another expansion. The armies, they pass by each other. Oh, Darky responds. He responds to the Protoss. And Dark, he can try to set up a surround. Oh. Classic is posturing. Just posturing, poking in. Doesn't commit. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Stargate as well. Classic trying to rush into Sky Toss. It's a bold move here. The problem is that, of course, Dark is maxed. He's maxed out, so Dark, he should soon be pushing. And it's going to be a tough hold for Classic. We'll see if he can survive. Dark moving out. 7 more lurkers on the way. Darky spots the main army. Up. Zoning Classic away. Zoning him back. Darky goes for the 3rd. And Classic, his army has to push through the lurkers. Yeah, just a rough positioning for Classic. He's going to be zoned back. Charge is not done. And more lurkers have arrived. They come in to reinforce. Nice storm. Some of the lurkers aren't going down, but there's still so many here behind this. Darky's holding his own. At the same time, Zelaramai is going to be cleaned up. Darky breaks through the defensive line of cannons. Nidus Storm into the main. Does Classic notice? Again, he's still stuck outside of his own bases. He's locked out. He's locked out of the house. He can't get in. Oh my god. Yeah, Classic, he was that positioned. Nidus goes down, and lurkers just walk into the 3rd. Classic just stuck out in the open. He just cannot defend. Nice storms. The Lings, they collapse on the army. And despite the storms, he's going to get surrounded. He's going to lose everything here. There's the recall. Saving 2 Archons and a High Templar. But the damage has been done. Damage has been done, and Darky's pushing in. At this point, going for the kill. He's going for the natural. Tempests have arrived. Well, we have Hydras, and they save in. They lunge. They take down 2 of the Tempests. There's 1 Tempest left. Up. Tempest pulls away. And again, the main army just turned away from the natural. Mass contamination here on the Stargate. Depowers everything else as well. Oh, they contaminate. Let's go. Looks down the production. Ooh, oh good. Nice storm. But this is the army. 1 High Templar, 1 Tempest, and a Dream. No, the High Templar goes down. Just the 1 Tempest. Let's go. We can do this. I mean, eventually the Tempest could kill everything, true. On its own. Eventually. As Natural has fallen and Darky's busting into the main. GG gets called. Darky will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Darky will claim the series, will advance on into the grand finals. My condolences to Classic, did make a series out of it, but again, I feel like we got to see full display just how difficult it is to be the defending player on Frostline. We spoke about it, but it's just so difficult to maintain your 3rd base, maintain your 4th base, rotate between them, even defend on them as well, just because of how wide open the 3rd and 4th are. Classic answer that was mass cannons. Like, he was throwing down a lot of cannons, a lot of stack defense to help at least secure 1 expansion, but he was still caught out. He was still caught out of position. He still lost the 4th base twice in a row, and yeah, he could not maintain himself. GG. GG, well played. Darky will claim the series, and with that, we are getting ready for the final match of the night. Let's go. Let us go. Up next, we have a best of 5 between Hero and Dark. Oh boy. And again, Hero and Dark, they have had a very long rivalry here in KSL. If you maybe haven't tuned into the Korean StarCraft League before, welcome to the best edition, to the 69th edition of the KSL. This is a bi-weekly tournament. Every 2 weeks we do host a KSL. Back in the beginning it used to be a weekly, but nowadays it is a bi-weekly instead. Every fortnight we have the KSL. And if you want to help support the Korean StarCraft League, you can do so via Patreon. Here we go, exclamation mark KSL in the chat. You will get a link to that Patreon page to help fund, to help support the Korean scene, if you wish. It's all there. It's all on Patreon. But when it comes to Hero versus Dark, it is a long rivalry. They faced off many times here in the KSL, and I'll be honest, I won't hold back. Hero is the heavy favorite. Hero, he's the heavy favorite here. Hero, he has won the most KSLs in the history of KSL. How many has he won? Let's find out. Let's find out together, Pappy. Let's go. Korean StarCraft League. Like, this is Hero's tournament. It is his event. Let's have a look here. Hero, he has won 25. 25 KSLs out of 69. The most. He has won the most. Dark, what I will say, not too far behind him. You know, Dark, he has won 19. Jesus. Dark has almost as many second places as Hero has first places. Hero has 25 wins, 25 gold medals, I should say. Dark, he's gotten second place 21 times in KSL. That's a lot. and most of them is to Hero, I'll be honest. And most of it is to Hero. So Dark is usually the Kong to Hero, but what I will say is that they're often back and forth, right? They're often back and forth. Even though I favor Hero coming into this, we often get a game 4, a game 5, and Dark does bring Hero down. You know, Dark, he has won a good amount of KSLs himself as well. They do go back and forth. When I say favored Hero here, it's like maybe like 60-40 or even like 55-45 sort of thing.